The door slammed shut behind me with a finality that echoed through the empty hallway, my heart pounding as I realized McKenna was standing there in the kitchen, her eyes red from crying, holding a letter that looked like it had been crumpled and then smoothed out 100 times. "Maya, I can't do this anymore," she whispered, her voice breaking, and in that moment, I knew our carefully constructed facade of friendship was about to shatter into something irreversible. I dropped my keys on the counter, the metallic clink sounding like a gunshot in the silence. As I stepped closer, my mind racing with the unspoken truths I'd buried for months. I'd answered the ad on Craigslist out of desperation. New York City rents were a killer, and after my last breakup, I needed a fresh start away from the ghosts of failed relationships. McKenna seemed perfect. Straight, uncomplicated. A marketing exec with a bubbly personality that lit up any room. She was the kind of girl who turned heads without trying, her laughter infectious, her confidence unshakable. We clicked instantly during the viewing, sharing stories about our Midwestern upbringings, her from a conservative family in Ohio, me from a more liberal one in Illinois. "No drama, just good vibes," she'd said, and I'd nodded, ignoring the flutter in my chest when our hands brushed while signing the lease. But from day one, living together revealed cracks in that perfection. McKenna's phone would buzz late at night with calls from her parents, their voices audible through the thin walls, pressuring her about settling down with a nice guy, about grandchildren and family legacies. I'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling, my own secrets gnawing at me. I'd come out to my family years ago, but the rejection still stung. My mother's tearful pleas to pray it away. My father's silent disappointment. Here with McKenna I could pretend to be just another roommate, sharing takeout and Netflix binges, but every casual touch, every lingering glance, built a tension I couldn't ignore. One evening after a particularly grueling day at my graphic design job, I came home to find her pacing the living room, her blonde bob disheveled, mascara streaking her cheeks. "They cut me off, Maya," she said, collapsing onto the couch. "My parents, they found out about that date I went on with Alex, the one who turned out to be married. They think I'm ruining my life." I sat beside her, my arm around her shoulders, feeling like both comfort and betrayal. Inside my thoughts swirled. Why does this hurt so much? She's straight, she's not for you. But as she leaned into me, her head on my shoulder, I felt the pull, the dangerous what if that I'd sworn to suppress. Days turned into weeks and our routines intertwined. Mornings with shared coffee, her teasing me about my messy sketches scattered everywhere, me admiring her poise as she prepared for meetings. But the undercurrent grew stronger. I'd catch her staring when she thought I wasn't looking, her eyes tracing my form in a way that wasn't just friendly. Doubt crept in. Was I imagining it? Projecting my own desires? The internal conflict raged. Tell her, risk everything, or stay silent and preserve the fragile peace. Then came the night that changed it all. We'd gone out for drinks with mutual friends, the bar buzzing with energy. McKenna had one too many, her laughter louder, her touches more frequent. On the walk home, she slipped her hand into mine, interlacing our fingers as if it were the most natural thing. My heart hammered. This isn't real, she's drunk, she's straight. But when we got back, she didn't let go. Instead, she turned to me in the dim light of our apartment, her blue eyes searching mine. "Maya, I think I'm falling for you." The words hung in the air, a bombshell that exploded my world. How could this be? She dated men, talked about ex-boyfriends. Yet here she was confessing something that mirrored my hidden longing. I pulled away, panic surging. "You're confused, Kenna. This isn't you." But she stepped closer, her voice steady despite the alcohol. "No, Maya. I've been denying it for years. My family, society, they made me believe I had to be a certain way. But with you it feels right." My mind screamed warnings. This will end in disaster. Families will disown, friends will judge, and what if it's just a phase? Yet, in that moment I couldn't resist. I kissed her, soft and tentative, and she kissed back, igniting a fire I'd long tried to extinguish. The next morning, regret hit like a tidal wave. McKenna avoided my eyes over breakfast, mumbling about work. Inside I tormented myself. What have I done? Pushed her into something she's not ready for? The guilt gnawed. Was I selfish, taking advantage of her vulnerability? But as the day wore on, she texted, "We need to talk tonight." Dread filled me, imagining the rejection, the awkwardness that would force one of us out. That evening she sat me down, her expression serious.
I'm scared, Maya.
My parents would never accept this. But I can't pretend anymore. We talked for hours, unraveling years of suppressed feelings. She admitted to crushes on girls in college, dismissed as phases by her conservative upbringing. I shared my own battles, the isolation of being out but still hiding parts of myself. For the first time it felt like connection, not just coexistence. But the shadow loomed. What price would we pay? As we navigated this new reality, small betrayals emerged. McKenna hesitated to hold my hand in public, glancing around nervously. What if someone sees? She'd whisper, and each time it chipped at my resolve. My inner voice accused. You're forcing her out before she's ready. Is this love or coercion? The drama intensified when her best friend, Sarah, confronted us after spotting us at a cafe. Kenna, this isn't you. Think about your family. The words echoed McKenna's fears, planting seeds of doubt. One night after a fight about visibility, I lay awake, thoughts racing. Am I worth the risk? Or will I be the villain in her story, the one who led her astray? The tension built, a storm brewing, as we balanced on the edge of commitment and collapse. The weeks following our confession blurred into a whirlwind of stolen moments and mounting pressure. McKenna's job demanded long hours, but when she was home we'd curl up on the couch, her head in my lap as I ran fingers through her hair, talking about dreams we'd never voiced before. Yet, every tender exchange came with a cost. Her phone lighting up with messages from her mother, inquiring about that nice boy from church she'd mentioned months ago. I'd watch her face pale, her replies evasive, and the knot in my stomach tightened. Why am I pushing this? My mind whispered. She's not ready to face the world, and neither are you really. The first major crack appeared during a weekend visit from my sister, Elena. She'd always been supportive of my sexuality, but when she met McKenna, her eyes narrowed in suspicion. She's straight, Maya? Or was? This seems rushed. Over dinner, the conversation turned awkward. McKenna fumbling explanations about her awakening. Elena pulled me aside later. Be careful. People experiment but hearts break. Her words haunted me, fueling my doubts. Was McKenna truly in this? Or was I a safe harbor in her storm of self-discovery? The internal battle raged. Love her fully or protect us both by pulling back. Society's gaze amplified everything. At a work event I dragged her to, colleagues assumed we were just friends, their casual questions about boyfriends stinging like barbs. McKenna laughed it off, but I saw the strain in her smile. Later in the cab home she snapped. Why do we have to label it? Can't it just be us? Her defensiveness cut deep, reminding me of my own past denials. But inside I questioned, is she ashamed of me? Of us? The drama escalated when we ran into her ex, Jason, at a coffee shop. His knowing smirk as he hugged her too long made my blood boil. Still playing the field, Kenna? He joked, and she blushed, not correcting him. That night we argued fiercely. You let him think you're available. I accused. I'm not ready to broadcast it. She shot back. The words hung heavy, a betrayal that left me reeling. As tensions simmered, McKenna's family pressures mounted. Her father called, demanding she visit for Thanksgiving. Bring a date, he insisted, his voice booming through the speaker. She hung up, tears streaming. They'll disown me, Maya. Everything I've built gone. I held her, but my thoughts betrayed me. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is too much. The moral dilemma clawed at me. Was encouraging her to come out ethical, or was it forcing my timeline on her? We decided she'd go alone, maintain the facade, but the decision felt like a surrender, a step back from the progress we'd made. Then came the turning point. A late-night confession from McKenna. I've been talking to a therapist, she revealed, her voice small. About my feelings, my past. It's helping, but it's scary. Pride swelled in me, mixed with fear. What if therapy leads her away from me? Back to the normal life her family expects? The thought was paralyzing, a damage I couldn't undo. But I supported her, attending a session together where the therapist probed our dynamics. Communication is key, she said, but the underlying questions lingered. Are you both choosing this freely or under duress? Social circles fractured further. My friends, mostly from the LGBTQ community, welcomed McKenna warmly at first, but whispers started. She's fresh out, give her space, one said. McKenna felt judged, retreating into herself. A girl's night out turned sour when a well-meaning friend pushed. When are you telling your folks? McKenna stormed out, leaving me to apologize. At home she confronted me. Your world is so open, Maya. Mine isn't. This is tearing me apart. Her words pierced, highlighting the chasm between our experiences. I lay awake that night, inner monologue relentless. You've dragged her into this. The guilt is yours. The betrayal deepened when I discovered texts on her phone. From Sarah, urging her to snap out of it and date men again. This phase will pass, Sarah wrote. McKenna hadn't responded, but the secrecy stung. Why didn't you tell me? I demanded. I didn't want to worry you, she said, but it felt like a lie, a hedge against commitment. Trust eroded, each day a tightrope walk. We made up, promising honesty, but the damage lingered, a wound festering. As Thanksgiving approached, McKenna's anxiety peaked. She packed her bags, hesitating at the door. What if I can't pretend? She whispered. I kissed her forehead, hiding my own terror. You'll be fine. But as she left, doubt consumed me. Is this the beginning of the end? The apartment felt empty, my thoughts a storm. If she chooses her family over us, can I blame her? The moral quandary intensified. Love demands sacrifice, but whose? Hers, mine, or both? Upon her return, she was distant, unpacking silently. It was hell, she finally admitted. They set me up with a guy from church. I played along. The revelation hit like a punch. You what? Jealousy and hurt surged. It was just dinner. To keep peace. But it felt like infidelity, a choice to prioritize facade over truth. We screamed, words like weapons. You're coward. You're pushing too hard. The fight ended in tears, a fragile truce, but the rift widened. Inside I wrestled, forgive and fight on, or let go to spare more pain. The drama coiled tighter, promising more confrontations ahead. The aftermath of Thanksgiving lingered like a bad hangover. Our conversations clipped, touches tentative. McKenna threw herself into work, staying late to avoid the heaviness at home. I'd sketch furiously, channeling turmoil into art, but each line reminded me of her. Fluid, beautiful, yet elusive. My mind raced. How much more can we take? The pressure from her family was a constant specter, their calls increasing, probing her single status. She deflected, but each lie chipped at her spirit and mine. A breakthrough seemed possible when McKenna suggested couples therapy. We need help navigating this, she said, her eyes pleading. I agreed, hopeful. Sessions uncovered layers. Her internalized homophobia from a religious upbringing. My fear of abandonment from past rejections. You're both paying a price for authenticity, the therapist noted. But progress was slow, interrupted by real-life intrusions. One evening, her mother showed up unannounced, suitcase in hand for a surprise visit. Panic ensued, hiding photos, straightening the bed we'd shared. Act normal, McKenna hissed, and I did, but the deception burned. Inside. This is no way to live. Am I complicit in her closet? The visit was a minefield. Her mother, Mrs. Ellis, eyed me suspiciously, commenting on our close friendship. Over dinner, she pushed. Kenna, when will you settle down? You're not getting younger. McKenna laughed it off, but her hand trembled under the table. Later alone, she broke down. She'd have a heart attack if she knew. I held her, but resentment brewed. Why must we hide? The moral conflict tore at me. Was demanding openness selfish or essential for our survival? Betrayal struck again when I overheard a phone call. McKenna, thinking I was out, spoke to Sarah. It's complicated. Sometimes I miss the simplicity of before. My heart shattered. Was before code for heterosexuality? I confronted her that night, voice shaking. Do you regret us? She denied it, tears flowing. I'm just scared. Losing everything. Family, friends. We reconciled in embraces, but trust frayed further. My inner voice accused. You're holding on too tight. Let her go if it's right. Society's judgment amplified the isolation. At a pride event, I convinced her to attend anonymously. She froze when a photographer snapped our picture. Delete it, she demanded, paranoia gripping her. The incident sparked another fight. You don't get it, Maya. My job, my life. It's all at risk. She was right, I worked in a progressive field but hers was corporate conservative. The disparity fueled guilt. Am I asking too much? The damage accumulated, each clash a scar. Then a glimmer of hope. McKenna came out to Sarah. I told her everything, she announced, beaming. But the reaction was mixed, Sarah supportive yet cautious. Are you sure? This changes things. The conversation lifted McKenna, but for me it highlighted imbalances. Why her friends first, not family? Doubt nagged. Is she testing waters without full commitment? The high crashed when Mrs. Ellis discovered a text from me. Affectionate and telling. She confronted McKenna via video call, voice icy. Is this why you've been distant? Some phase with your roommate. McKenna denied, claiming misunderstanding, but the lie cost her. She hung up, sobbing. I can't lose them. I comforted her, but inside, this is the price. Whose fault? The ethical dilemma deepened. Support her denial or push for truth? Weeks later, McKenna made a decision. I'm telling them. For us. Excitement mixed with terror. We prepared role-playing scenarios, but reality hit hard. Over a family dinner video, she confessed, Mom, Dad, I'm in love with Maya. Silence, then explosion, her father's rage. This is unnatural. You're confused. Her mother wept. We've failed you. They cut the call, disowning her in words that echoed. McKenna crumpled, the damage profound. Was it worth it? She whispered. My heart ached. I encouraged this. The guilt was mine. The fallout was swift. No more calls, no financial support. McKenna's world upended. She withdrew, blaming herself. Then me in heated moments. You wanted this. Accusations flew, our love strained. Inside I questioned everything. Did I manipulate her into this? The drama peaked, a vortex of pain and regret. As we picked up pieces, small awakenings emerged. McKenna joined a support group, sharing stories with others facing similar rejections. I'm not alone, she realized. But the cost lingered. Lost family ties, fractured friendships. One night she said, I chose you, Maya. But it hurts. Her words, a double-edged sword, affirmed yet wounded. My thoughts swirled. Love's price, is it ever fair? The tension built toward inevitable confrontation. When Sarah visited, urging reconciliation with family, McKenna wavered. Maybe I rushed. The seed of doubt grew, threatening to uproot us. Betrayal loomed again, the cycle relentless. In the wake of the family rift, our apartment became a sanctuary and a prison. McKenna oscillated between defiance and despair. One day vowing to build a new life, the next morning the old. I'd wake to her staring at the ceiling, lost in thought. Do you think they'll ever forgive me? She'd ask, and I'd reassure, but my own doubts mirrored hers. Inside, what if this destroys her? The moral weight pressed. Had my love become a burden? Work provided escape, but even there ripples spread. McKenna's performance slipped, her boss noticing the distraction. Get it together, he warned, unaware of the turmoil. She confided in a colleague only to face subtle judgment. Side glances, whispered comments. Corporate America isn't ready for this, she lamented. I face my own battles, friends questioning our stability. Is she committed? The external pressures fueled internal storms. Am I strong enough to weather this? A pivotal moment came during a weekend getaway to upstate New York, an attempt to reconnect. Amid the autumn leaves, we talked openly, no distractions. I don't regret choosing you, McKenna said, her hand in mine. But as we hiked, she admitted, sometimes I wonder what life would be like if I'd stayed hidden. The honesty stung, a betrayal of sorts. Do you want out? I asked, voice cracking. No, she insisted, but the seed was planted. Back home, tension simmered. The drama intensified with an unexpected call from her brother, the only family member reaching out. Mom and Dad are devastated, he said. Come home, fix this. McKenna hesitated, then agreed to meet him secretly. Just to talk, she promised. But when she returned late, evasive about details, suspicion grew. What did he say? I pressed. That I can have my family back if I end this. The words hung, a choice laid bare. Rage boiled. And you're considering it? She denied, but her eyes betrayed conflict. Inside. This is the ultimate test. Will she choose them over me? Betrayal manifested when I found emails to her ex, Jason. Not romantic but seeking advice. How do I navigate this mess? His replies. You were happier before. Think about it. The discovery exploded into confrontation. You're confiding in him? The guy who cheated on you. Tears flowed. I need perspective from someone who knows the old me. It felt like a knife twist eroding foundations. We separated rooms that night, the silence deafening. My thoughts accused, you've lost her. The damage is irreparable. Reconciliation attempts faltered. Therapy sessions turned heated, accusations flying. You're not supportive. You're wavering. The therapist mediated. Decisions have consequences. Own them. But ownership came hard. McKenna's awakening deepened. She read books on identity, attended meetings, but each step forward highlighted losses. I traded family for freedom, she reflected. Guilt consumed me. Did I influence that trade unfairly? Society's role amplified the struggle. A news article about LGBTQ rights sparked debate. See? Progress, I said. But not for everyone, she countered, citing conservative backlashes. The divide grew, our views clashing. When a mutual friend outed us accidentally on social media, backlash ensued. Hateful comments from strangers, concerned messages from acquaintances. McKenna panicked, deleting her accounts. This is too much. The incident forced a reckoning. Hide or fight? In a moment of clarity, McKenna confronted her fears. I need space, she announced, packing for a hotel. To think. Devastation hit. Is this the end? Alone I spiraled, my love pushed her away. The ethical quandary peaked. Was pursuing this right, or should I have let her be? Days blurred in solitude, my mind a battlefield. Friends advised. Let her go if she can't commit. But love persisted, a stubborn flame. When she returned, expression resolute. I choose us. But we need boundaries, no rushing. Relief washed over, mixed with caution. We rebuilt slowly, small gestures mending wounds. Yet, the price paid lingered. Isolated from her family, wary of society. As stability returned, a new threat emerged. My own family's intervention. My mother called, having heard rumors. Maya, is this girl serious? Or another heartbreak? Her concern veiled judgment, echoing past disapprovals. I defended us, but doubt crept. Are we doomed by external forces? The high point came at a small gathering with accepting friends, where McKenna held my hand openly, laughing freely. This feels right, she whispered. But shadows remained. The unanswered calls from her parents, the lingering what-ifs. Inside, we've paid dearly. Is the reward enough? The drama coiled for one final twist, as McKenna received a letter from her father. Come home. We can talk. Temptation beckoned, a potential bridge or trap. What do I do? She asked. My heart raced. Support her, risk loss? The choice was hers, but the stakes ours. The letter from her father sat on the kitchen table like a loaded gun. Its words a mix of olive branch and ultimatum. We miss you, but changes must be made. McKenna stared at it for hours, her fingers tracing the edges, torn between hope and history. If I go, it might heal things, she said, but her voice wavered. Inside I battled. Encourage reconciliation or warn of the trap. The moral lines blurred. Family ties versus self-truth. She decided to meet them alone in Ohio. I need to face this without influence, she explained. The days leading up were agony. Packing, planning, each moment a reminder of potential loss. Promise you'll be here when I return, she whispered at the airport. Always, I replied, but fear gnawed. What if they convince her to stay? To change? Alone in the apartment, time crawled. I threw myself into work, but thoughts intruded. Did I push too far? The damage we've inflicted, on her, on us. Friends checked in, offering platitudes. True love endures. But endurance felt like punishment, the price of authenticity steep. McKenna called sporadically, updates cryptic. They're listening, but it's hard. Then silence for 2 days. Panic set in. Has she chosen them? When she finally texted, coming home tomorrow, relief surged, tempered by uncertainty. What compromises had she made? Her return was subdued, bags dropped heavily. They want me to try therapy, they're kind, to fix this. Outrage boiled. And you? I refused. Told them it's who I am. Pride swelled, but she continued. But I agreed to limited contact, no pushing boundaries. It felt like a half-victory, a betrayal diluted. So we stay hidden? I asked. For now, she admitted. The word stung a step back. Arguments reignited. This isn't progress. It's survival. The clash exposed raw nerves, her need for family, my demand for openness. Therapy helped unpack. You're both grieving losses. But grief bred resentment. One night in tears. Sometimes I wonder if we're worth the pain. Her doubt mirrored mine, a damaging admission. Awakening came gradually. McKenna started volunteering at an LGBTQ center. Finding community. These stories, they're like mine, she shared. It empowered her but highlighted my privilege. I'd had years to build resilience. Guilt resurfaced. Have I been impatient? A final confrontation loomed when her brother visited, bearing family messages. They'll accept you if you end it with her. Blunt, brutal. McKenna's response. No. She's my future. He left disappointed, but her stand solidified us. Yet the cost, permanent estrangement, weighed heavy. As months passed, we forged ahead, creating our own family with friends. Small joys accumulated. Shared holidays, inside jokes, quiet affirmations. But scars remained, reminders of battles fought. McKenna's confidence grew, but shadows of doubt lingered. Did I make the right choice? She'd muse. In a moment of vulnerability, she confessed. There were times I almost left. For ease. The honesty, though painful, strengthened bonds. My inner reflection. Love isn't easy. It's chosen daily despite costs. The story culminated in a quiet evening. Reflecting on our journey. We've lost much, I said. But gained more, she questioned. We held each other, the future uncertain but ours. Was sacrificing family ties for personal truth the right decision? Or a selfish act that caused unnecessary pain?